What's going on YouTube? It's your guy Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. On this channel, we talk about fragrance and fashion. So if you rock with me, I want to have you looking good and smelling absolutely amazing. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And take another quick second, if you don't mind, and hit that bell icon to make sure you get notified every time I upload new content on the channel. All right guys, quick fashion check today. Today your boy is rocking a suit from Suit Supply. This is a custom suit that my wife had done for me about 2 years ago for my birthday. As always, I'm rocking a shirt from Spear and McKay, and the pocket square and tie combination is from the master himself, Tom Ford. Just had to let you guys know what your boy was rocking today. All right, let's keep it moving. So guys, you see the title on today's video. I am going to be talking about 10 fragrances in my collection that women find irresistible on guys. Now, what's unique about this list today is I have not just taken my experiences into account, reading comments and talking to a lot of other fragrance enthusiasts. This is kind of a list, if you will, a comprehensive list of not only my experiences, but the experiences of some people that I really trust their opinion on fragrances, etc., etc. And again, just kind of my overall knowledge and what I've come into the knowledge of as it relates to fragrances since I've been doing this thing. This is a comprehensive list of, for the most part, 10 fragrances in my collection that most women just find irresistible on guys. I mean, they're drawn to these fragrances, man, like a moth to a flame, like bees to honey, like flies to, well, maybe not. Flies, maybe not that one. But you get what I'm trying to say. Women seem to be drawn to these fragrances, man. So if you want to know what fragrances made the list today, you know how we do. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're about to go ahead and jump right into this list, starting with the number 10 spot, although these aren't really in order, but these are just 10 great ones, man, that women find irresistible. But the first fragrance that I want to mention today comes from the house of Chanel, and it's a Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Now, what's extreme about this fragrance is you're going to get an extreme amount of attention when you wear this fragrance, because it has a beautiful mandarin minty opening in this fragrance, and the dry down is about musk and tonka bean. Again, women love the sweetness from the tonka bean. They love musk. Now, again, that's a note that really seems to draw them in. So this is one, guys, if you've never put your nose on it for whatever reason, I highly recommend it. If you want to be irresistible to the ladies, then get you some of this in your life, man, from the house of Chanel. This is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. All right, guys, next up on this list today, guys, no stranger to this kind of list. And this fragrance comes from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, and this is called La Nuit de l'Homme. La Nuit de l'Homme. And I don't care what formulation of this stuff that you have, because guess what? The ladies don't care what formulation of this stuff you have as well. I'm not going to spend $400 trying to get a virgin from 2009. I could care less, because whatever version this is I have, whatever formulation of this that I have, it works just the same. Trust me. And guys, it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. If you want to talk about fragrances women find irresistible, this stuff, regardless of the formulation, still works. So get you some of this in your collection, fellas, from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. This is called La Nuit de l'Homme. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on this list comes from the house of Creed. It needs no introduction. This is called Creed Green Irish Tweed. Green Irish Tweed, man. I wore this thing recently and just got compliment after compliment. It just smells good, man. It just, simply put, this thing smells so fresh. As the name and the story behind the fragrance talks about, it smells like you're walking through the countryside of Ireland. So if you guys have ever smelled, Ireland, you think about Irish Spring soap. They have that really, kind of Irish Springs kind of vibe to this. Beautiful violet leaves in here. Beautiful fragrance from the house of Creed. Spring, summer, whenever, dressed up, dressed down. Women seem to find this stuff irresistible from the house of Creed. This is Green Irish Tweed. Next fragrance up on the list, guys. This fragrance, we're going back to the house of Yves Saint Laurent. And this is from the Y line. This is Y Eau de Parfum. Y Eau de Parfum. Man, I don't know why when this fragrance first came out, I wasn't as much of a fan. It may be because I was so much of a fan of the original. And this one brought a little bit more of a floral component to that DNA. And initially I was like, but guess what? Guys, this thing works. It works. It works. Trust me when I tell you, any of the fragrances really from the Y line work, as it talks about when you talk about women being attracted to it. And this one really, really does it. From the house of Yves Saint Laurent, this is Y Eau de Parfum. The next fragrance up on this list, this one comes from the house of Tom Ford. I've talked about this one a lot. And this one is called Tom Ford Black Orchid. Tom Ford Black Orchid. Now, this is the EDT. The EDP is a bit much for me personally, but the EDT does the trick. You have some beautiful combination of really florals. The opening of this is about florals. And like I said, women love flowers. They're attracted to flowers. And then you have all that sexiness on the dry down of this fragrance with dark chocolate, truffles. I mean, this is just a beautiful, sexy scent from the house of Tom Ford. The master of seduction strikes again. This one is called Black Orchid. Next fragrance on this list, this one comes from the house of By Kilian, and this is called Vodka on the Rocks. Vodka on the Rocks. Now, this fragrance to me in this house doesn't get as much attention, but man, it deserves it. It's a fragrance from Kilian that can really be worn when it is hot or warm outside. And again, it's just really, really, really a sexy, sexy fragrance. You know, what they captured in this bottle, I always talk about it when I wear this scent. Somehow they captured, he was able to capture the whole essence of pouring a glass of vodka on the rocks. The kind of vapors that kind of evaporate off of the ice as the vodka hits the ice was caught in this fragrance was with aldehyde. So it's kind of clean and fresh, but it has that sexiness like Kilian does. So check this one out, guys, if you've never put your nose on it, from the house of By Kilian. This one is called Vodka on the Rocks. The next fragrance on the list, guys, this one comes from the house of Tom Ford, and this one is called Ombre Leather. Ombre Leather. Now, you guys, if you haven't seen the video I did with my wife last week where we ranked the top 5 Tom Ford fragrances. Now, she wasn't as much of a fan of Tuscan leather. As she said, when it's on my skin, it's a different story. But this is an even more wearable version to me of Tuscan leather. You still get that nice, sweet, leathery accord that you get from Tuscan leather. But again, this one is just toned it down like 2 or 3 notches. And to me, that makes it even more wearable and sexy. And ladies find this stuff irresistible. So if you never put your nose on this, I highly recommend that you do. From the house of Tom Ford, this one is called Ombre Leather. Next up on the list, this is definitely a classic, but it still works, so it still deserves to be talked about. From the house of Dolce & Gabbana, this is Dolce & Gabbana, the One Eau de Parfum. Dolce & Gabbana, the One Eau de Parfum. I'm one of those folks, I'm never going to stop really talking about a fragrance, no matter how much it's been talked about or how long it's been since it's come out, if it's still one of the best in class. And when you start talking about fragrances that are sexy, that women find irresistible, you have to mention this fragrance right here. Now, there's been a lot of flankers that have come out since they released the original Dolce & Gabbana, the One Eau de Toilette, but to me, this is still the best from the line. This is the Dolce & Gabbana, the One Eau de Parfum. Forget about performance, because when it comes to talking about the ladies and their reaction to it, performance is no issue. So check this one out. This is Dolce & Gabbana, the One Eau de Parfum. Next up on the list, guys, this fragrance comes from the house of Creed, and this is Creed Aventus Cologne. Aventus Cologne. Again, I always talk about this when I first got it. The sample wasn't as much of a fan, but man, when I got this bottle, it really made me a believer. Again, it's more of a citrus take on Creed Aventus DNA, but man, this thing is an absolute lady magnet right here. So again, the Aventus DNA made a little bit more universal with the addition of some more citrusy accords than just pineapple in the opening of this fragrance. Not as smoky and birchy, but man, this stuff is good. So check this one out from the house of Creed. This is Creed Aventus Cologne. All right, fellas, and last but not least on this list, I'm not even gonna say much about it. I'm just gonna show you the bottle. from the house of Tom Ford. Oud wood is oud good. Put your nose on this right here. You guys saw the way that my lady reacted to this, and there are many other ladies that respond the same way. So check this one out if you haven't. For some reason, what that reason will be, I don't know. You need to check this fragrance out and put your nose on it from the house of Tom Ford. This is Tom Ford's Oud Wood. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today as I gave you 10 fragrances in my collection that women simply find irresistible. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos because, of course, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. And don't forget to take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to folks that you think could use this information or find me entertaining, because I'm your guy, Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.